Roll out!
I'd like to take a moment to thank my channel members for your continued support. Thank you, and consider joining today for added perks and exclusive content. Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legends LG-42 God Bomber, and I love this toy. Originally released in May of 2017, this was the other figure that I got recently at BotCon 2021 to go with my LG-35 Super Girnai. Really excited to be able to get them both. And yeah, so God Bomber is a companion piece to Power Master Optimus Prime or to Super Girnai. He does become a second trailer. He is also his own vehicle. He can become a base. He can become a carrier for the little headmaster figures. He can become his own robot, and then he finally can become armor for Super Girnai to become God Jinrai. I love the concept of God Bomber. This guy is just so cool. Taking a quick look at the packaging, God Bomber does come, as well as Super Girnai did, he does come in a window package where he comes packaged in his vehicle mode. Again, I miss the day when Transformers used to come packaged in vehicle modes, and I love that these guys came packaged in their vehicle modes. So the trailer was right here. You could see some of the weapons back here. You could see more of the weapons up here, and his headmaster right up there. Now, originally in Master Force, God Bomber was not a headmaster. He was kind of like almost like a drone, if you will. But very cool that they made this guy also a headmaster, because it just adds playability to this. I absolutely adore it. You can see here on the side, we got some really cool artwork of God Bomber, which is also the same artwork we got over here on this side. On this side over here, we can see the God Bomber headmaster. We can see the base mode. We can see the trailer mode and half of the robot mode. And then along the back here, we've got Bomber one more time in robot mode, battle station mode, vehicle mode. And then right here on the bottom, it shows us that we can take God Bomber plus Super Girnai to become God Jinrai. Very, very cool stuff right there. Taking a closer look at God Bomber in his vehicle mode, he is approximately 6 inches long, about 4 inches tall right here at the top of the trailer, 6 if you want to go to the top of the wings right here. And yeah, basically, God Bomber was just kind of like a weapons trailer for Super Girnai. You know, he carried this big cannon back here. He's got other armament for Super Girnai. In the show, in the original Master Force shows, the Headmaster Juniors could actually load up. Of course, this guy won't be able to do that, but the Headmaster Juniors would actually be able to load up their vehicles or their transectors inside of this trailer so that Super Girnai could carry all of them together, and then you would be able to see the little Headmaster Juniors up there. And I'll show you how that works here in a moment. Taking a look at the vehicle, we've got, it's detailed in blue, gray, and silver with black and red highlights, and it's detailed so well. I absolutely love the silver part of the cab right here with the windows and the Autobot logo right there on the top, and the fact that we got those translucent blue windows right there so that we can see the little Titan Masters inside. Now I'll go ahead and pop this open. This will pop open if I can get my nail in there. Of course, now because I'm on camera, I can't do it. There we go. So this will pop open, and you can see there are 3 seats in there for your little headmaster. So I've got right here in the middle, I've got the headmaster that came with God Bomber. And since I didn't get the gift set, and I wasn't able to get the 2 Headmasters Juniors that would have come with the gift set, I got the 2 Headmasters here for Metal Hawk and for Landmine is what I'm using to kind of fill in seats right there, so you can see what those guys look like together. So yeah, it's really cool because they are compatible with any of your little Titan Masters or Headmasters. They all work perfectly right in there. So that's really, really cool. You can go ahead and close that right back up again, just like that. Now you got the little hitch right there. This is where it plugs in with Optimus Prime. I'll show you that here in just a moment. Just going around the rest of the vehicle. Nice paint details. Again, silvers, grays, and blue with the red and black highlights. We got this cannon up here that you can move up and down. You've also got these smaller cannons mounted to the wings right here, which you can also move up and down. You got the wheels in black with the silver wheels right there, or rather the tires in black with the wheels painted in silver, which is really nice that they painted that for us. And just kind of going all the way around. Now, when you get to the back of the vehicle here, it does fall apart a little bit. You do have some gappiness back here. And, I mean, he is a parts form. The original God Bomber was a parts former, this guy's going to be a parts former. So, yeah, it would be cool to have a God Bomber where you can open up the back bay, even though I'm sure none of the vehicles would have fit in there. It would have still been cool to kind of see that, but I know why they did it this way, because this guy's got to basically transform into 4 different modes. So totally get it. So we do lose a little bit here on the back of the vehicle, but going the rest of the way around, yeah, he looks absolutely fantastic. And I absolutely love the trailer with the wings sticking straight out like there. And I just I can't get over the front of this cab. I just love the design of this cab where the guys are just kind of sitting up high above, up there, just looking out the window and checking out the action outside. It's just so cool. Now, like I said, this is compatible with your LG-35 Super Girnai. So bring in this guy right here. You got the little clip right there that's going to clip into the back of Super Girnai. We'll go ahead and pop that in. Make sure that's nice and tight. And now you got yourself a super convoy right here of Optimus Prime or Super Girnai pulling God Bomber right there. Very, very cool. And this never happens unless I got the camera on. I swear, I play with this thing all day long. It's on my desk and I move it around, and that never happens. And the minute I get the camera rolling, it's going to start doing that. That's insane. But anyway, yeah, you get the idea. That looks absolutely fantastic. Love the way that looks. Now, God Bomber does have a base mode of sorts. I don't know if this is like a little command post or a little battle station or what you want to call it. It's this mode. He's got it. It's pretty much still, I'm not going to go through the transformation. Obviously, I've already done it. It's very fiddly, but I would be remiss if I didn't show it, right? But this is basically just the trailer mode with the front opened up and then the back section of the trailer supporting the wings. And then, of course, you take the cannon piece here and just kind of open it up. So you've got a couple of seats here. You can take, obviously, you see him sitting there in the front right there. You can also take a couple more guys, sit them on each side like I had him earlier. You can also take some guys, like let's take Jin right here, and you can set him up there so you can gun that or man that gun right there. It's a weird it's a weird little command post mode, but there it is if you want to use it. Now, for comparison, here it is with Super Girnai's base mode, which again, yeah, it's not as good as the original. It's there if you want to use it, I guess, for playability. I mean, the play value is there if you have the imagination for it. Well, there you go nuts, go crazy. They are supposed to be compatible. When you look at the panels here, these panels and these panels are compatible, so you would be able to plug these in together like so. Although now that kind of makes the angles kind of weird, and I don't know what we're going for right here, but it's there. It's a thing that you can do if you want to do it. But let's face it, this is not why we're here. We are here to see the transformation for these guys in the robot modes and then combine them into Super God Jinrai. So why don't we go ahead and get to that right now? Transforming God Bomber into robot mode is actually pretty cool, but it can get a little fiddly. The forearm pieces tend to just pop off really easily. I'm going to do my best to transform it without any of the pieces falling out. We'll just see. But I'm going to start right here in the front. This little red piece that we were clipping to Jinrai, we can go ahead and just move that back. Open the front cab section and you can remove the headmaster and any other little master dudes that you got in there. So we'll go ahead and remove all of these guys. I guess these are Titan Masters. I don't know. I never kept that. They were always just headmasters to me. But anyway, we can remove all of these guys. Now, this guy we're going to keep around. So let's set this guy off to the side for just a second. And we'll continue here. We're going to take the big cannon up here. We're going to go ahead and just remove that. This is just going to slot straight up. There's these two little slots here and here that are into these tabs right here on the inside of the forearm. So this can just pop off. Set that off to the side. Actually, while we're here, we can go ahead and remove the helmet. This is just tabbed in right there, that peg and port. So we can put that off to the side. And when we can remove, or unsheath rather, that sword piece, we'll go up here to these little handle pieces, pull down on this, and this is going to reveal the handle. You can take off those little missile piece right here, and you can slot that right back in. And then, of course, we've got our sword and handle. The sword has a little tab right there, so that's going to go facing into that slot. That's going to be our sword. So that's pretty much our weapons right there. We can go ahead and set those off to the side, and we can continue here. Now, let's try to make this happen. These panels and these forearms, push those down. So the forearms, you can see right there, these two little tabs right there. These are actual like C tabs. They're clipped onto the tab of this panel, and then this panel is tabbed into the side or of the front of the cab right there. So if we just kind of bring the arm pieces up, and I'm trying to be very careful so that they don't pop off. All right, so you can see how that just unclipped from there, and you can take these panels here and bring these straight back. We can go ahead and leave this open and just kind of, let's see, we're going to move that down like that. Take the arms, and this is where it starts to get tricky. We're going to move these straight up like this on both sides. I'm really trying to get this done without them popping off. I'm trying to show off a perfect transformation here. And we can move the cab up. As we're moving that cab up, this little back wall panel here, this can flip like so. And then you can close that up and bring that down. That's going to be his back. Let's work on the legs. Go ahead, and you can see that these are the hips and these are the knees. They're bent forward, so we can start bringing these straight down. Separate them if you haven't done so already. Mine just did that automatically. We're going to reach right in here and bring the feet out. So he's got feet and heels right there. And you can bring the legs the rest of the way down. You can hear those nice ratchets right there. Okay, bring the arm pieces. Let's move this camera up first, actually, because it does get a bit tall. All right, so we're going to take the whole arm assembly right here, this whole thing on this big hinge here. We're going to bring this whole thing out and forward like so. There we go. Now, bring the whole back piece up. This panel that we flipped over is going to go into these slots right here, right under the shoulder blades, like so. Bring that in together. And then on the inside of this red piece, you're going to see that slot that's going to go into that tab there on the side. That's going to secure the whole torso into place. There and there. You just got to get everything lined up. Now, we're going to reach in here and bring out the fists, hopefully without popping off the arms. It can be done. You just have to be patient with it. I may have to get a tool here for this. I don't know why I'm having trouble pushing out that fist now. But anyway, there it is. So we'll bring that out. The wings are supposed to face back. We'll talk about those in a moment. Bring this down. And then this panel was actually down like this for the vehicle mode. So it's on a double hinge. So just use the topmost hinge. You can see the little hinge that it's folding on right now. We want to use the topmost hinge to bring it in as close as possible. There. And there we go. And we're looking at it backwards. So again, the wing, face it back. There's the arm done. All right, so one more time on this side, we're going to flip this around, flip the wing backwards, rotate the forearm. Actually, not rotate the forearm, rotate this shoulder piece here. Let me straighten that back out again. Let me try to get the fist out without popping it. Can I do it? I really, really want to do a perfect transformation on this guy without any parts forming. Alrighty, so now we're going to bring that the rest of the way down. Oh man, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. All right, let me get him straightened out just a bit here. Camera down a touch. Oh, I think we're going to do it. All right, finally, we're going to take our little headmaster dude here. We're going to flip him down. We're going to peg him in right up here. We're going to give him his helmet. And then finally, we're going to give him his shoulder cannon. We're going to use this red tab right here. He's got peg holes or ports on either shoulder. Traditionally, God Bomber has it on his or over his left shoulder. And there we go. There is God Bomber in robot mode. And in robot mode, he stands approximately 9.5 inches tall, which is really cool because he actually stands just as tall as Jinrai here. So if you have both of these figures, you can see you've got yourself a really, really cool set here where they're both the same. Actually, I dare say he might actually be just a smidge taller than Super Girnai, which is amazing. It's really, really cool. And I love the proportions, and I love how big this figure is. Now, I also love the fact that he can, as you saw just now, do a perfect transformation from vehicle to robot. Of course, for the base mode and for the armor mode, that's going to be parts forming. And again, traditionally, God Bomber was a parts former, but that original God Bomber transformed from vehicle to robot. It was completely parts forming. This guy doesn't do it. So it's really impressive to me that he can actually do that. That's super, super cool. Taking a closer look at him so you can see the details. I love that. I've got the cannon is bumping into the camera here. Love that head sculpt. Love the details on the head. You got that gray face with the light blue eyes right there and the black helmet. Very nice. Nice Autobot logo right there on the front. Looking really good. You got all your grays, your silvers, and your blues. Looking really, really nice going all the way around. Not a lot of kibble going on. Not a lot of hollow spots with the exception of the arms. The arms are hollow. Unfortunately, those are to become gauntlets for God Jinrai. So what are you going to do? But yeah, very, very cool. Now, again, traditionally or historically, God Bomber in robot mode had his wings straight back. But because of these hinges back here, you have options. You can move the wings out to the side if you want to just make him kind of like a winged character. You can do that, or you can also just kind of fold them back if you don't like them and just kind of fold them back there. It's completely up to you. You can also have them, because of this rotation hinge in here, you can have them straight up like this. So they kind of like he had in trailer mode where the wings were going straight up. You can do that here like that too if you want to do it. I don't know. It's there if you want to do it. Or you can bring these down like this. It's completely up to you, which I think is really cool. You got all these options for posability and for display. If you're going to display him in robot mode, which, of course, in my case, he's going to be displayed in as armor for God Jinrai. Now, another quick comparison. Here he is with the G1 Power Master Optimus Prime. Unfortunately, I don't have my G1 God Jinrai available to me at the moment. So this guy's going to have to make do. But again, look at the size of this guy. It's absolutely amazing. It's such a big figure. I was really surprised by the size of this guy. I don't know what I was expecting. I was not expecting a leader size this big out of this guy. Maybe a Voyager or a large Voyager or something like that. I just didn't realize in hand how big he was going to be. And that's just really, really surprised me about him. I am just absolutely in love with this figure. Getting into articulation, the head, of course, because he is the headmaster and the little head is on a ball joint, he does wiggle around a little bit. You got some side-to-side inquisitive and a little bit of up and down, and of course you got your side-to-side. The shoulders, as you saw, these are on a rotation hinge right here, so these can go forward and backwards all the way around. They're also on this ratchet, so you can move them in and out. The bicep can rotate. The elbow can bend 90. And then the arms can actually, or rather the wrists can actually rotate. They can go in and out a little bit. The thumb is on a ball joint and the fingers are on a hinge. So that's really cool. Nothing at the waist because of the nature of this figure. I don't think that's supposed to be down like that, all the way down like that. I think this is supposed to be up like this. So again, nothing at the waist. The legs can go forward that far, back that far. They can go in and out a little bit. The leg is, or rather this wheel is going to get in the way. You have a rotation at the knee. You have a bend at the knee. The ankles can move up and down a little bit, and you've also got ankle tilt. So he is posable, but like I said, he is also fiddly. You do have to make an effort and be conscious that you are holding him together while you're posing him. Otherwise, arms are going to pop off, or as you saw just now, I was reattaching his shoulders. So he is posable, but he's fiddly, right? It's not one of those play with it and just kind of bang him around kind of figures. Unfortunately, this is a beautiful figure. That's not that kind of figure, but he is posable. And again, for his weapon, he did have his sword, which we can put in his hand. Just open up the thumb a little bit. Now there is, let me see if I can show that up. There is a slot, or, well, the arm came off. There you go. There's a tab in his fist right there. And there is a slot on the handle of the sword. So, all right, so since we're here, if this happens, here's what you do. There is a tab here that's going to go into that slot there. And then there is a port there for that peg to go into. So if you've been watching carefully, what you've been seeing me do is hold his arms like this anytime I move them around. And that is why, is to keep those in place, because they will fall out very, very easily. There we go. And of course, this is the part of the video where he gets fiddly and starts falling apart, and the whole video just goes to crap. All right, so let's work on getting this this sword in his hand. All right, I was looking for that slot, so we're gonna take that, slot it right into his hand, close his fingers around it, and he doesn't do a very good job of holding that either. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is one thing that I just haven't been able to get him to hold very securely. But again, like I said, he is posable, but he is fiddly. And there you go. There is God Bomber, all armed up and ready for battle, looking absolutely awesome. So yeah, absolutely love the robot mode here. Next, let's take him apart. I think what I want to do is, I don't know, should I go from robot and just take him apart from the robot, or should I go back to the vehicle and take him apart to make him armor? That's the question. But we're going to reset. We're going to turn him into armor. We're going to combine him with Super Girnai to make God Jinrai. I know you guys have been waiting to see that. Okay, so combining LG-35, Super Girnai, and LG-42 God Bomber into God Jinrai, or Super God Jinrai, whichever you want to call them. We got to do a little bit of prep work first. So on Super Girnai, we're just going to take off his weapons. Set these off to the side. Take these off. Set those off to the side. We're going to take the arms, open up these flaps, and extend them. Open up the flap and extend it, and then we're going to come around the back, and we're going to take these heel support pieces, and we're going to fold these in. And so Super Girnai is pretty much ready for combination. We'll set him off to the side. Now, on God Bomber, we're pretty much just going to start taking him apart. So we'll take off his weapons first. Start setting that stuff off to the side. Take this off to the side. Helmet comes off. Little Power Master dude or Headmaster dude comes off. In fact, you can actually take the little Power Master dude and put him in there. We'll probably do that here towards the end. All right, so we're going to start taking this whole thing apart. So on the arms, just like you saw earlier when they fell apart before I wanted them to, flip this over. There is that peg and that port and that tab and that slot back there. So we're going to take this off. Now, in this mode, he's using, make sure I got that right. Yep, he's using this top hinge here. We're going to want to fold that up and bring it down on that bottom hinge like that. And then finally come down here, take the hand itself, just flip it in, and that gauntlet is ready to attach. So same thing with this one, just take this off, put the hand in, flip it down on the bottom hinge. I think it's the bottom hinge, I'm pretty sure. Set that off to the side. Legs come off right here on the side, very much like Combiner War style. You can see those mushroom pegs right there. These are spring loaded right in there. So these come off. And what you're going to do here is we're going to take the feet here and we're going to collapse the heels and the toes straight down like that. We're going to take this leg piece and bring it straight up. That's one foot. Same thing over here. Bring the heel and the toe together. Grab this blue piece, bring it up, and that's both your feet right there. So far, pretty straightforward. Now, here's where things get a little complicated. So take the arms right here. We're going to fold these outwards and then bring them up like this. So again, turn outwards, not fold. We're going to turn outwards and then fold up at the elbow right there. Things get a little weird here with this guy. So pull the shoulders off so that we can unclip this whole thing. Open up the cockpit here. We're going to take this little panel back here and fold that back down again. If you want, you can take your little Headmaster dude and pop him back in there if you want. Or you can put him aside somewhere else, but I like him right there. You can close that up like so. Okay, so we're going to come up on these red, on these hinges here, on these red pieces. So bring these up. And I'm going to do my best to show this off here. So we're going to take this whole, what was the front of God Bomber, we're going to split this guy right in half. And we're going to bring these outwards on these hinges here. Okay. So the leg piece itself, real simple. This is just going to rotate straight up like this. On these arm pieces, we want to bring this entire wing assembly in on that hinge there. When we get to about here, we're going to rotate this outwards one more time, like so. Now we want the shoulder piece to stay down like this. And I got in the way of myself there. And that's what we want right there. And of course, we're going to take the wing and flip it outwards. So I hope that made sense. We'll try it again over here. So we'll actually, let's bring the arm in first. So we're going to bring the arm all the way in. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the shoulder piece down while I'm rotating the wing to the back and then flip it. And we want this blue piece folded up like this. Take this leg piece and bring it up. So now we're going to take the two arm pieces here, or what were the connector pieces for the forearms, and these are going to tab together. Now, the helmet for God Bomber, you see these two little slots right here. The helmet's going to clip onto these right here, and that's also going to help to hold it together. Now is probably not the best time to do it because as we're trying to combine them, that's got a really good chance of coming off. I like to hold off until the end for this one, so we'll just set that off to the side. But there we have the chest piece pretty much ready to go. And right now, these hinges are all kind of independent of each other and kind of floppy. But once we get it all put together, he becomes a little more solid. So let's bring Jinrai back in. We'll start with the legs. So you'll see this little red piece right here matches the shape of this indent here on the blue side. So that's going to clip here, and then this side of the red piece right here is going to clip over here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Just like that. And the feet are pretty solid. He is a little back heavy. Fortunately, the feet do clip on pretty solid. So you got that going for you. But I will tell you right now, once we get everything combined, he will be back heavy. And so usually I try to like lean him forward or something like that. You can try to use these to kind of give him a little bit of support. It helps a little, not much, but it's there if you want to try to use it. Now, on the arms, this is really cool. So you remember this peg right here that we were using for God Bomber. That's going to go right into that slot there. The whole piece is going to wrap around his arm, and then this top slot right here, this is going to slot onto this lip of his forearm right here. Not the easiest thing to show, but let's see. So you can see right there, that's going to peg in right there. The arm's going to come around. And you want to work it so that the fist goes under this gray panel right here, just like that. And again, that little clip is going to clip right there to the red part of the forearm. And then this is going to come up and cover that up. And there's one arm done. So we're going to do that again over here. So again, flip it over this way so you can see the peg going into the arm. This is going to come down. The fist goes behind the gray piece. That clips onto the red part of the forearm. And that's all done. So the legs and the arms are all there. Now comes the trickier part. Actually, before we do that, let's do this. We'll bring in the double-sided cannons that were his shoulder cannons. These are going to peg in right here on the side of his heels. So we can go ahead and peg those in there, and then you can angle them whichever way you see fit. You can already see him kind of leaning backwards. You see that? He's already doing the Weekend at Bernie's on me. So it gets worse when we get the armor put on. So, all right, to get the armor on. These red pieces right here, you see these little square pieces. These are hollow on the bottom. These are slots. So we're going to take those slots and we're going to tab them here on these two tabs on the back behind his shoulders. Once we do that, these blue arms are going to come. These blue pieces are going to slot in right here between his chest and the smokestack. And then the front of the chest here is going to clip onto the front of his chest. So, and again, this is not going to be the easiest thing to show. It is fiddly. I have to say that about this figure. This is a beautiful figure. Absolutely stunning. I love this figure, and I love that I have this figure, but he can be very fiddly. This is not really like a play with it kind of a toy. This is a kind of a put it together and display it kind of a figure, unfortunately. So that's going to come down there, and then the chest piece is going to clip in right there. We're going to move them back because we are getting quite tall. We're pretty much all there. We're going to bring it. Oh, almost forgot. We can come back here. Now that this is we can go ahead and clip the helmet back here. Makes for a good place for storage, and it also helps solidify a little bit these two tabs back here. So that works. And again, it's nice that there's a place to store it. We're going to take the shoulder cannon, and if you look at these blue, we'll call them shoulder straps. These blue shoulder straps, again, there's a port, one on each side. You can put it on whichever side you like, but for this one, we're going to go over his right shoulder because that's, again, traditionally where God Jinrai had his shoulder cannon. And it's a little bit of cheating, but I am going to hold them or push them back against the wall just to kind of push them forward and get them straight. Only for the purposes of the shot so that you can see him well on the camera. Just for demonstration, I'll bring him forward, and you'll see he is a little back heavy, but you can stand him up straight and he will hold, as you can see, right? So, but just again, for the purposes of the shot, so that we can see the entire figure, there is Super God Jinrai in robot mode. And how awesome does this guy look? And he's absolutely massive. He stands approximately 11 inches tall at the top of the head, 12 if you want to go to the top of the wings. And again, I mean, it's God Jinrai, right? It's Super Power Master Optimus Prime with the God Bomber armor, God Jinrai, Super God Jinrai, whatever you want to call him, whatever continuity you subscribe to, that's who he is, very obviously. And it's an absolute beautiful update to that figure. He looks absolutely fantastic. Taking a look at him a little closer so you can see all the details. The head doesn't change. It's the same head that we had for Super Girnai, so that's still the same. But now we've got that silver chest. I love that the little headmaster for God Bomber is riding in there like he's a Power Ranger. Just looking out the window. I freaking love that so much. Love the silver on the cab here now for the front of his chest. You've got the blue forearms here with the little wings. You can also angle these outwards if you want to give them like little guns. You can do that as well. And of course, you've got the added feet with the guns down here on his ankles. Really, really nice. Articulation pretty much stays the same because we're using all the same parts of the body that we use for Super Girnai. The only difference really is that the arms are extended, but it's still the same wrists. So the arms are all the same, the head is all the same, the legs are all the same. We're no longer using these for ankles. We're now using the God Bomber parts for ankles. So you got a little bit of forward and backwards, and you've got an ankle tilt. And for some reason, they also tilt inwards that way, which is weird. But yeah, but there's that. So you got the ankle tilt, you got the forward and backwards, you got all of that going on for you, going all the way around. So you can see he doesn't look very bulky. You know, and not a lot. Now those hollow pieces are covered up, so that worked out. And yeah, not a lot of cable going on back here. Pretty clean looking figure. I like it a lot. So what I'm going to do here now we have these ports that were on the body for God Bomber. So I actually like to take one of these. Actually, I'm going to go on this side here. Remember earlier I was talking about, you know, we didn't have an option to store these weapons. Well, no, we kind of do. So I like to do that. And I knocked off the God Bomber helmet. Again, like I said, not making excuses here. This is a fiddly figure. This is one of those, you're going to fiddle with it, you're going to pose it, you're going to display it, and you're going to be done with it. Because there's not really a whole lot of playing and banging them around kind of a thing with this figure. I'm going to give him his weapon. And I'm going to give him his sword. Even though I don't recall, I mean, I've seen Master Force 3 times, I think. And I don't recall God Jinrai having a sword. But, you know, they give us a sword. I'm going to give him a sword. So there you go. There's God Jinrai all armed up, ready for a fight with the Destrons, because that's what they were called in Master Force. They were Destrons or Cybertrons. And yeah, this guy looks absolutely beautiful. I love the way this looks. For comparison, let's set him over here to the side. Let's bring in the Titans. Is Combiner Wars or Titan Returns? Power Master Optimus Prime. I'm sure one of you guys will correct me down in the comments. I always mix up my Combiner Wars and Titan Returns. I think it's Titan Returns. I think. But anyway, I'm going to go with that. Titans Returns Optimus Prime with our new God GINRAI here. So you can see how much he's grown, right? This is absolutely just enormous. Towers over the original Super Girnai version. It's just so cool. Now, I've heard that you can put the armor on this version. I haven't tried it. Some of the parts are not going to fit quite well. I can't imagine that the feet would work. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't see how the arms would work either. I can see the chest maybe clipping on, but I don't see how the forearms or the feet would clip onto this. I haven't even bothered to try it. I'm not going to, because this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a Power Master Prime and I wanted a God GINRAI to go with them. So this works for me, and this is exactly how I'm going to display them. So there's that. And for another quick comparison, here he is with G1 Power Master Optimus Prime. Unfortunately, my G1 God GINRAI is currently not available to me. So I can't get him out for, or I can't show him here for comparison, unfortunately. But anyway, that's what they look like together. And now he's grown quite a bit. He looks absolutely fantastic. And I think for the outro, usually I would end him, since this was technically a God Bomber review, I would end him in God Bomber mode. So I would go back and shoot the outro there. But this is also part of my That's Just Prime series, and we ended up with God GINRAI. So this was kind of the goal, right? So I'm going to leave him like this. This is the way we're going to go on the outro. But let's get him in a cool pose right there so you can see him real nice. So yeah, there we have one last look. I think that about does it for the LG-42 Legends God Bomber. And here we have him combined with the LG-35 Legends Super Girnai to form God GINRAI, Super God GINRAI, whatever you want to call them. What did you think of this figure? This is absolutely beautiful. If you're any kind of a fan of Optimus Prime figures like I am, this is a must-have for your collection. This is nice. This is better. Totally worth the wait, worth the hunt. I was so excited to find these guys, and I was able to buy them together at TFCon, so I was able to get a good deal for them, and I was really excited that I was able to do that. So yeah, what do you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got a donate button up there if you want to hit on that. I certainly would appreciate it. I also now have memberships on my channel. Please join if you can. I certainly would appreciate that as well. Please share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.